Fugo Kusanagi, Kusanagi Fugo, Kusanagi Fugo here. For whatever video game or animated media you like, the one thing that always comes with it is art. Be it official art, concept art, or even fan art. They help expand the characters of a series more. Obviously, KOF is no different in this. There are tons, and I mean tons of art you can find in the SNK wiki alone. For the great art that exists for the series is obviously in due part to the magnificent artists behind them. Now, when talking about SNK artists, you'd always start with Shinkiro. His realistic art style is what people would match KOF characters with. However, I should emphasize that he is not the only artist that helped give SNK its own unique identity for characters. There are many artists in SNK then and now that provided great art for the King of Fighters series. Although some of which have been susceptible to making very questionable art, their greatest works do help overshadow them regardless. Being the protege of Shinkiro, Hiroaki takes a realistic approach to his characters, but with his own little fictional feel to distinguish it from Shinkiro's mainly realistic approach. Before he did art for KOF, he was the main artist for the series Buruiki 1, another SNK fighting game series. After SNK's initial demise in 2000, he became a freelancer, but would still continue to draw art for KOF. Personally, Hiroaki is tied as my favorite KOF artist along with Shinkiro. Hiroaki also brings more into the characters such as K-Dash, who funny enough is Hiroaki's favorite character to draw. That aside, Hiroaki did art for other fighting game series such as Street Fighter and most recently Soul Calibur. He's always had a consistent style, but he has shown growth from his art then into now. Overall, Hiroaki is easily an important artist for KOF. Even as a freelancer, he's contributed greatly to the series. Next up is Ogura. He's the current artist for the KOF series. His style is mostly well received by many, myself included. However, there are people that argue that his style is too generic or lacks character, but I digress. Ogura has been with SNK since 1996, starting his work in Fatal Fury. At the time, he was responsible for the character animations in Real Bout Fatal Fury Special and Garou Mark of the Wolves. His role as the main illustrator starts with Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. The original version of the game shows a rough art style Ogura initially had with the characters. However, with the release of a certain KOF game, Ogura would find his identity with a more cartoony anime style. His style would continue to improve further in KOF 14 and with some promotional art for SNK in general. Another notable game he's done artwork on is the infamous SNK Heroines. Yep, regardless though, his work is usually great. Now, as we get into other KOF artists, we also enter the somehow maybe justified unpopular territory. To start this off, we have Falcon. Falcon is a good artist, but his early work is usually deemed poorly by KOF fans. The weird faces, man. He became a main illustrator for KOF 2003 and 11. He was also in charge of the designs for the totally not Tekken ripoff, King of Fighters Maximum Impact, the game that made Falcon unpopular in the first place. From Hwoarang clone to what the fuck did he do to Ash in this, he takes a lot of liberty on a character's fashion. Though I gotta admit, Vice wearing a SpongeBob shirt is pretty nice. Interesting thing to note is that Falcon doesn't use references when drawing, as he tends to rely on memory for thinking of designs for characters. Out of all the artists listed, Falcon has experienced the most growth in style. Looking at his work from KOF 2003 to now shows a lot of what Falcon is now capable of. He hasn't exclusively done art related to KOF. In fact, he's also done fan art for characters from other media such as Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Hwoarang from Tekken. You may not be fond of Falcon, and that's alright, but let us take a moment and admire this drawing of Kyo. Thank you, Falcon. Here, we get the most unpopular of these artists. An artist that has drawn enough questionable art to warrant dislike from KOF fans. That man is Nona. Alright, he's not that bad anymore, guys. His rejected work from KOF 2001 and 2002 are definitely not Nona's greatest moments. Sorry, bad cough and art. It wouldn't be until SVC where Nona finally starts to show great improvement from his other works. Yes, those good looking Terrys and Ioris from SVC were all from the same guy behind Moai Seth. To describe his style, he tends to exaggerate proportions for characters. For example, his sprite work in KOF 12 and 13. Besides that, though he did stick with his general style, his subtle changes on how he draws characters helped make Nona a great artist over time. Though just like Hiroaki and Falcon, he became a freelancer. As I said though, the hate against Nona can be a little unfair. His art may not be the most attractive compared to other artists already mentioned. Nona at his best is something not to miss out on. He's a very capable artist that needs a little bit more appreciation. I made this video as a way to show off other artists for KOF that help give their own unique twist like Shinkiro. Obviously, I omitted artists that never did main illustrations for KOF. Sorry, Tonko. Maybe next time. KOF artists all give their own take on their characters, for better or worse. However, in the end, they all are very unique. For next time, not only look forward to a video on a certain crossover game, but a little something special I want to do for a week next month. Until then, Fugo Kusanagi, Kusanagi Fugo, Kusanagi Fugo, out.